talking about the 60s, and the 60s were a completely different time. The 60s are the time in which the majority of the population were those who came from the baby boomers, our grandparents. You know, I'm sorry, not baby boomers. I forgot what they call, but the Civil War, not the Civil War, the World War II generation. My grandparents, my grandfather fought in World War II. My father is a baby boomer. So that generation, those people did trust the government. So that makes sense based upon what you're saying, historically. I wouldn't necessarily use that in terms of, in today's world, in terms of correlating that to voting. But back then, that does make sense historically, because very similar to how Martin Luther King Jr. was one who wanted to fight against the system and change what was happening to black people. However, his father, Martin Luther King Sr., was like, boy, don't you do that shit. Don't you dare do that shit. My grandparents were okay with the way shit was. They didn't like it, but it was fucked up. And they were like, this is America, this is how it is. But their kids, my father, my mother, they were more in terms of, let's fight the system. Fuck the system. I don't trust this shit. So that's historical generation. And I do understand that, so it makes sense. But in terms of stats, in terms of education, this was actually my thesis when I graduated from college. And
you think more educated people make better decisions?
No, more educated people vote. I'm not saying anything else.
Oh, okay,
I'm not saying they're
vote,
smart.
but they might vote wrong.
I'm not saying that, well,
they vote, period.
I'll say this too. What happens is, and this is part of the Republican problem, politically, the more education a person has, the more likely you are to vote Democrat.
Wait, say it again?
The more education a person has, the more likely you are to vote Democrat. This is also correlated to your location as well. Because if you look in the South, that's a little bit different. Because the South is still underneath the old thinking, which is very fucked up, very racist. And it's divide and conquer. And they've always used, and this is the funny thing about Donald Trump. The Republican Party is getting what they deserve. All the shit and all the games they've been playing and all the bullshit they've been rhetoric people, all the rhetoric, this is the ultimate realization of that bullshit. And Ted Cruz even worse.
Oh man,
Ted Cruz, as bad as we think Trump is, Cruz is even worse.
Yeah. Dude, I saw footage. I saw footage the other day of Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. So Marco Rubio was at this like big gay.
I saw that shit.
They were all in bubbles and they were
he was like a Chippendale dancer looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And then Ted Cruz, I forgot. It was something similar with Ted Cruz too.
So Rubio was at a gay?
Rubio's fat.
He was at like some kind of rave, gay rave. And they were all in bubbles. They was just. I was like, what is going on, dude?
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at the majority of the Republican Party, the majority of, and this is the best example of this, is the Tea Party. The organization is a whole bunch of uneducated white people, but it's funded by rich ass white people. That's the Republican Party in a nutshell. It's a whole bunch of poor ass white folk controlled by a few rich ass white folk. And they're just lying to them, trying to make it seem as though your problems are so different from those of poor black people, poor Hispanic people, when the problems are exactly the fucking same.
Shoot, no they not.
Not exactly the same, but we have a lot of common
in terms of opportunity, no they not.
So we could join together. Because that's what I'm saying. Did you watch the Black Panther documentary? Vanguard of the Movement?
Yeah, the PBS shit?
Yeah, the PBS.
Nah, I wasn't really feeling that shit.
Did you watch it? You watched it, but you weren't feeling it?
I've read about it before, and I haven't gotten around to it. It's on my playlist of something I want to watch, but I read some things about it, and I was very disappointed in how they were.
Well, share that in a second.
Sure.
But Fred, when they were doing the part with Fred Hampton,
sure,
they were saying how they were talking about how he was aligned in the community in Chicago.
Oh, yeah,
like he had the hillbilly white dudes. Yeah. The hillbilly white dudes was coming together. Yeah. The young lords, and then he even had like the educated black people in the NAACP. Yeah. He had the churches. He had everybody together.
They had to kill him.
In his
they was like, we got to get you up out of here.
Yeah. Like when
he was only a dub.
He might have died at 22, but
shorty.
But when he was first spitting his speeches, he was 20.
Was a beast.
He was 20.
They were all
he
college
was moving
kids.
the crowd. He was moving the crowd like crazy. And
but when you see him on TV, they don't look that young.
No, he didn't look young at all.
Just one thing.
But
all the people in the civil rights movement, all the motherfuckers were young. Martin Luther King was 26 when he started.
That's cool. That makes me think about Tupac and how young he was.
That's all it is.
At that time, he was
it's
like,
always the young. It's always the young that lead it. Always.
Yep. So you were saying, what did you hear about that? Because I like that director.
So
I thought he did a hell of a job. So I started looking at this other work. Right. I was like, yeah, okay, he's directing a lot of documentary films, and he has more to come. Right. So I was looking to see what films he had coming next. Like, all right, I can rock with this.
He talked more about the inflammatory things that the Black Panther Party did, and less about the realities of what they really were about. They were more in terms of the sensationalism of what they did versus the reality of how the organization was about community, building community, about feeding kids, healthcare, these type of things. It was more the radical Black Panthers versus the realities of what the organization was. It also diminished the importance of women in the Black Panther Party. One of the biggest things, this comes from my family members who were in the Black Panther Party.
So they said they watched it, they said,
yeah, I'll still watch it though.
No, but as you're saying that, I'm thinking he did talk about the significance of women and that the women were like the foundation of the party.
They were.
Like they were the ones doing all the real groundwork.
They did.
And he did talk about that in the documentary. And yeah, as far as the sensationalism, he did talk a lot about Eldridge Cleavers and his beef with Huey.
You understand that Cleaver was a plant. Cleaver was an FBI agent. Can I get back up on that, please?
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
Cleaver was a plant.
I don't know that.
Cleaver was a plant.
I always knew that they had an implant.
He was crazy.
I always knew they had an implant.
This is the same motherfucker that made jeans with the cock piece.
Wow. The what?
You know what I'm talking about? This motherfucker made jeans. He wanted to make a new design. This is what he did. As soon as the Panthers went down and shit, he started creating jeans with cock pieces, like literal, outside cock pieces, like jock strap,
like how you got these legs right here.
There's a little thing right there for your dick.
To go on the outside?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. This motherfucker was crazy.
So they killed him, right?
No,
he alive now?
No, he died of heart attack in '98 or something.
The craziness, he just talked to his ex-wife. His ex-wife does plenty of interviews. Light-skinned chick, got locks. He was crazy as a motherfucker.
I got his book right there.
Yeah.
I was reading it, and then once I got about 3/4 through the way, I said, this shit is stupid. Yeah, and I threw the book down, and I got, what you call it, the other cat's book. Something to time.
So, Bobby Seale.
Yeah, Bobby Seale's book is dope.
Hampton.
Bobby Seale's book is dope.
And my man.
Eldridge Cleavers is crazy.
Oh shit! What's the main other dude?
The light skin.
Yeah. It was Huey Newton.
Huey.
Yeah.
These are the ones that are really good.
Yeah.
Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, Bobby Seale, and Stokely Carmichael.
But
Stokely Carmichael is one of my favorites.
He's dead too, right?
Yeah, he was involved with them. He was involved with them. Yeah, he was Snick more than anything else. But Snick and Black Panther is correlated for a long time. Snick's my favorite black organization of all time. You get people like, Marion Barry was the head of Snick. That's his foundation.
Where was Stokely from?
Somewhere in the South, I think. Stokely was
doing a speech.
Yeah, it was a beast. I was watching a Black Panther mixtape.
Oh yeah.
He was spitting.
Oh yeah. Stokely spits.
Yeah.
Stokely spits.
But back to the documentary though.
I'm gonna check it out.
He did make at the end you think about it and you say, wow, I really can't wear a Huey P shirt no more.
Why?
Like I can't have a Huey P poster up. Because when they talk about the shit that he was doing to people at the end, like once he got out of jail and he was trying to take over the underworld. That's what they were saying.
So
he was trying to take over the underworld. And he was abused. They said one of the girls was up there talking.
Yeah.
She was like, he was abusive.
Yeah.
Like he really went crazy. Like sometimes he would be like this inspirational black thought speaker, and then the next thing he's just like a gangster and a thug. And he says that he was abusing Bobby Seale. Like they bring him up there, like,
this is the
knocking
other part
people
of it.
out, beating them up. He was always doing that before.
This is the other part of it. When you're talking about documentary, it's probably the most important part. They completely downplayed the reason of the downfall of the Black Panther Party. What do you think the reason of the downfall of the Black Panther Party was from watching that documentary? What did they make it appear to be?
See, what did they make it appear to be? Two things. Two things they made it appear to be. I mean, one was just the infiltration of the CIA. You know, so they did.
Was that downplayed?
No, they talked about it a lot. They said Fred Hampton's bodyguard was up there speaking.
Right.
Fred Hampton's bodyguard was like, "Yeah, I did it. You know, I worked for the CIA. Blah,
wow.
blah, blah. I was his bodyguard. I gave all the information.
Right.
You know, he just went on and on and on about it. You know, being real. I was like, wow, good thing they got him speaking on it. So it was really that, and also that they just grew too fast.
Right.
You know, they didn't have any controls. Like everybody, once they got notoriety, everybody wanted to be a Black Panther, and they got people joining, and they don't know these people.
Right.
Everybody joining for different reasons.
Right.
And they had no control over that. Like at a national level, I mean, you got New Haven popping off, you got this and that.
Right.
So how can you really filter all of these different cities?
So when it grows that fast and you don't have anything controlling it, that's a problem. And then when you got the CIA and FBI that step in and say, I'm going to sabotage, they broke that down real nice.
Right, because that's COINTELPRO, that's all it was.
Yeah, they broke down the COINTELPRO perfectly, like stop the rise of a Black Messiah, yada yada yada. Yeah.
Everything.
So they explained that in
because that's what put the drugs in the community. That's what
they
Huey Newton was purposefully targeted and fucked with. And they got drugs all in that man.
That's what I would say, because when I raised my hand, I like Beeman's answer, but I was gonna say drugs.
Drugs, man.
Period.
Drugs.
That was a good answer though, Beeman, but I think it's drugs.
Drugs.
Well, it's still the same answer. CIA.
Yeah, right.
Put the drugs.
But really, that's what messed us up. That was the Black Panthers, but that's what messed us up as a community.
All of us.
It wasn't just them, that trickled to all of us, and that's how, they've been trying to destroy us ever since the Indians. You know what I'm saying? They wiped out all the Indians. They've been trying to wipe us out for many moons, for centuries. But we so strong, it's you can't wipe Black people out. That's impossible. But the closest that they ever got, slavery couldn't do it. Man, none of this other stuff couldn't do it. Drugs did it. Yeah. And we've been messed up ever since. The Black man have been against the Black woman ever since. The Black man been in jail and dead ever since. They've been making fun of the Black woman as the biggest freak show in Hollywood ever since. Like, they just take advantage of the Black woman just completely, and she don't get it. She don't see it at all.
You know, I also love how they just showed how much respect the Black Panthers got around the world.
Oh,
you know, when Elvis was traveling, he was going to each embassy. He was going to like the freaking Vietnamese embassy. Everywhere. You know, no matter what, the Japanese embassy. He was going everywhere in the world. And everybody was like, "Yo, y'all, I love what y'all doing there."
Right.
And it also had good parallels to what's going on right now when it comes to the gun laws. You know,
well, they changed
they changed the gun laws on California. They were like, hold on. Y'all following the law? We'll change it. So, because I have a couple of cousins that, like, oh, no. Like, because of the Connecticut bullshit. You know, the Sandy Hook shootings and all that. Oh, you know, why do we need these guns? Why do we need this? You know, so they got the people in Connecticut all brainwashed. Like, oh, man, we should give away our rights for guns. But, like, when you watch that, you just see, like, we had these laws.
That's just not Connecticut. That's the country now.
Yeah, we applied ourselves to those laws, and they changed them.
False flag.
So yeah,
all that. I mean, because the Black Panther Party, and the other thing is sexism fucked up the Black Panther Party.
They did talk about that.
They talked about that.
Yeah. A couple of women said, you know, we joined this organization thinking that they would have respect for women, but it's guys, you know, still being sexist.
Right. Towards the end of the Black Panther Party, unfortunately, it was just a party. Like, I had a lot of people that were involved with it, and it was a party. That's what it was.
Together, holler at some hoes.
Exactly. Let's fuck these hoes. Let's smoke.
Are you
this dope.
serious?
Let's fuck these.
Well,
hoes,
yeah,
let's
especially
smoke
when
this dope,
is that only because the drugs
Everybody
came in?
for different
not
reasons.
just the drugs. It was also because
What makes a party a party? You know what I'm saying?
it's what it is. What it is. You know what I mean?
Everybody's joining for different reasons.
You know what I mean? Let's not let's not act like, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers don't like to have a good time. You know what I mean? They still like to get it popping, get it in, whatever. But what happened is, like, one of my it was actually my mother's ex-husband. He was Black Panther in Chicago. And he went with a whole bunch of other people down to somewhere in South America. I forgot what he said. And they got respect from those people, but they also didn't give them respect. Because he said that y'all Black Panthers, y'all are pretty revolutionaries. Meaning that y'all like dress the part, look the part, but y'all ain't really about that life. And the reason why he said that is that
Most of them were.
if you really about that life, there's certain things you do. And I've talked to other people about it, and I got to be very careful when I say this shit, because this is how it really happens. Revolution happens when you start cutting off the system. You cut off the system by shutting down power plants, killing the water sources, shutting the shit down. Like, there are ways in which you can shut this government down, even in the way it works right now.
You read Shea Rivera's Guerrilla Warfare?
That's what it's about. Yeah.
That is the roadmap to revolution.
Like,
when you read
it can really be done.
It's the roadmap to how to
It can really be done. And the Black Panther Party wasn't about that shit. Like,
some of them were.
Yeah, yes. In the beginning they was.
Yeah, some of them were just.
Right.
It was a cool thing to be.
The Black Panther Party was about protecting our people. That's what it started out.
The neighborhoods.
It's protecting the neighborhoods. Same thing that's happening right now in terms of motherfuckers getting shot by the cops, getting fucked up. I mean, let's be real about this shit. And I know you know this, Telly. I mean, the Bloods and the Crips, the founders of them shits were left off outcasts from the fucking Black Panther Party.
Yeah,
absolutely.
People started Bloods and the Crips. There's protection for
and I mean, and that's.
And the drugs came.
I mean, I'm gonna speak about Chicago. Where, you know, because Bloods and we know how they started or whatever, but if you look at Chicago's organizations, these are real, like LA's, those are gangs. In Chicago, like the Vice Lords, and like these are real revolutionaries.
They were Black Panther spinoffs.
Okay, so and they were functioning like Fortune 500 companies. You know what I'm saying? Real leadership, real organization, real laws. That that everybody has to know and abide by. You don't abide by them, you know what happens. But yeah, man. But you know, I don't know, man. It just seems like when we come up with some stuff like that, it just don't stick.
It can't. It will always be somehow terminated. Sabotage.
It gets sabotaged.
Annihilated.
And not from within though.
Both. Yeah. It's within too.
Both.
It's within.
It can be. But have you ever seen an organization just have a cancer within and it just died? It's usually it's usually them people that come in because they always want to know what the freak we doing. They come in, they infiltrate, and they find out how can we destroy this.
Right. I mean, there's all types of ways you can look at it. My favorite one to look at recently, because we all see it, is hip hop.
Oh yeah.
Hip hop started,
which is, you know, that's our generation.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see where it is now.
It's real. I mean, hip hop started out as motherfuckers, and I always joke.
Just chilling, kicking it.
I tell white people about this shit all the time because they don't get it.
Don't tell white people, bud.
No, I tell them. Why? Because I tell them all this hip hop shit started out with gangs that decided to put down their guns, put down their knives, put down their bats, and instead of fighting against each other, they decided to have dance-offs.
Yeah.
That was it.
And just party on the block.
So they wanted to dance.
When you in the ghetto,
that's hip hop.
You need something to kind of take your mind away from all of the bull crap.
Right.
And it was the music and the dancing.
And they were tagging neighborhoods, and they still continue to do that, but they used to dance off. And the DJ is the person that played the music while they're dancing. And they needed somebody to talk while the DJ was doing it. And that's where the MC comes from. And then we have hip hop. The MC was the least important part of hip hop when hip hop started out. And now it's the predominant main point. Like everything else is kind of minor now in hip hop. The MC is the main part of it.
Graffiti,
everything. I mean, it's still there, but white people appreciate that shit. Asians appreciate that shit more than we do. You do a breakdancing contest, people fucking with Asians just getting it.
Japanese,
getting it. Good time.
Yeah. Well, that I mean, they kind of culture vultures, man. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that because a culture vulture is somebody that takes